Holding in my hand the new release from Van Morrison, Beyond Words Instrumental. It's the first archival release on Van's new Orangefield Records uh, label, and this one is it's all instrumentals from the past 50 years, from the 70s going back to the 70s through the 2000s. And I just got this yesterday. Came pretty quick in the mail. You can only get this through Van's Orangefield record label website, which is on his website, and there's no streaming, no Amazon, none of that, and you can only get it in CD format. So if you want it, that's how you gotta go. Go to vanmorrison.com, then go to his store. I think Orangefield Records is underneath there, and that's how you can get it. These are all instrumentals from the 70s, 80s, 90s into the 2000s, and there really are just the sound on this is great, and they're not what you would call throwaways. They're not, I thought they might be outtakes or something that they weren't worthy of release, but all these tracks are all great. They're all this is like a new album, and the sound is so good on it. It's like a new out listening to a new album, except it's all instrumental. The first track you actually hear Van scatting along to the tune, so it's you may technically say then it's not all instrumental, but and there's a couple other tracks where you hear Van humming or scatting along. My favorite tracks on here are from the Inarticulate Speech of the Heart and Beautiful Vision era, which is from the 1983. Those are tracks 12 through I think 16, and you can tell that they have that Inarticulate Speech of the Heart sound. Inarticulate Speech of the Heart came out in 1983. It's one of my favorite albums. It's not on everybody's favorite list, but I happen to like it. I play it a lot, and I heard there was a good few things that were left off it, so I think some of those tunes have made it onto here. Inarticulate Speech of Heart did have, I think, a couple of instrumentals on it, and I think September Night was the one that closed it out, the instrumental track that closed it out. But this is really, really great release. Like I said, the sound is great. I would highly recommend getting this. I've been listening to this nonstop since it came in the mail yesterday. It's just some great playing on it. There's some great sidemen that Van's played with through the past 50 years, including David Hayes, John Platania, Chris Michi. There's the Pee Wee Ellis, of course, great saxophonist that passed away last year. The Chieftains are on here. A couple of Chieftains, Derek Bell and Patty Maloney, play on. I think the last track. It's called Greenwood Tree. That's the last track. But I said the standout tracks to me are The Street, Far North, Song of Home. Now, Song of Home was redone with words on the album in 2008, and it was the words were added later on in 2008. This is the instrumental. It's a bit different, but you can tell the melody's there, and there's a hint of, I can see why they probably kept it off the album, because there's a hint of the song Cry for Home in the instrumental Song of Home, and I picked up on that. It's just what I've heard, so maybe that's why they kept it off at the time. They sounded too similar, Cry for Home and Song of Home. But I think all the tunes are great on this, though. It's really he does the old Irish standard Kerry dancing. There's some that are the original tunes of songs he did later on, like So Complicated. Um, like I said, it's just very interesting listening. Um, band plays some acoustic guitar on some tracks, which is great. And like I said, the playing on this is just, it's not, tracks that uh, that are inferior. These are actually great tunes, and to me, I treat this like it's a regular release, like it's a new album, and the sound is that good. It sounds, some of the tracks from the '70s sounds like it was just recorded last week. So there's 17 tracks. It clocks in at nearly 70 minutes, so you're really getting your money's worth as far as I'm concerned. And again, you can only get this at Van's web store. So I don't know if there's a limited run on this. It didn't say that there was going to be limited copies, but I would highly recommend getting this. It is a fantastic release, and the feedback in the Mystic Avenue Facebook group that I run has been extremely positive from people that have got it. So you can join us in the Facebook group if you haven't, if you want to, where we discuss the new release and band's concerts. And so band's got a tour coming up in the States in September. So I don't know if he's going to be playing some of these tunes. He'll probably be doing skiffle at least. So he's still doing skiffle tunes. He did some skiffle tunes last night in the UK, and he did some of the old hits. So he is breaking away from the old skiffle set list. So Van just keeps on rolling. So again, Beyond Words, Van Morrison instrumental, highly recommended.